Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome back to another Bachelor in Paradise Live. Brendan and Piper have left the beach, Thomas ruined Tammy's birthday, and justice was finally served for Natasha. And we have breaking news about the next Bachelor. As always, I am your host, Zachary Reality, joined today by the lovely Avery Grooms and Gianna Gravalisi. And we have breaking news, guys. Our potential next Bachelor, Clayton, he's going to be on Michelle's season, was spotted with a camera crew in his hometown of Missouri. And we are freaking out because this is truly breaking news. We just got the news about this. Avery, how are you doing? How are you digesting this potential Bachelor update?
Well, I'm okay with it. I mean, I saw him and you guys heard me. I was like, I should have applied, but I mean, he's hot. I don't really know any much more about him, but this is a train I definitely can get behind. You know, I was a little iffy when we thought it was Greg. Same thing with Michael A, but Clayton, know nothing about him, but I like him better already.
So why didn't you apply to the Bachelor, Avery? Is it because it could have been Greg?
Yeah, well, actually, no, I still would have been okay with that. I thought it might have been Michael A or Andrew S. That's just not really my vibe. But now that I'm seeing this, I have regrets.
It might not be too late. Who knows? They haven't started filming yet. It looks like they're just filming this guy's like casting intro video. So maybe you can still get on the show. So we're just gonna put that out there. Gianna, how are you doing? What are your thoughts on this breaking news?
Well, Avery, as soon as we get off of this live, I think I'm going to
Are you
nominate you
applying?
if that is still open
Yeah.
on their website. I don't think I'll be applying because I would have applied if it were Greg. I was really hoping that he would be the next Bachelor, although, people weren't really for that idea. But now we have this guy, Clayton, and it's crazy because we've been seeing, kind of like iffy headlines last week of news sources saying that the new Bachelor is going to be someone from Michelle's season, but we all thought, that's a cover up because it has to be Greg, it has to be Michael A, and we thought that the franchise was just trying to cover up the obvious. But here we have it. I don't know who snuck onto the set because who is letting people just take pictures willingly and post them to social media? Like they really should have had more strict security on this closed set. But I'm excited. I mean, we don't know him yet. I'm looking forward to getting to know him on Michelle's season and then obviously on his season of The Bachelor if this is definitely true, which it looks like it is true.
I mean, I think it's true. It was confirmed to E, and I sometimes feel like The Bachelor or other people will call the paparazzi on themselves or leak certain things to the press as a way to create buzz. And we all know that Mike Fleiss loves to create buzz around The Bachelor. He's been doing it for 20 years. So I think that Clayton is going to be our next Bachelor. How do I feel about it? I'm a little bit like, who are you? Like, I just don't want it to spoil Michelle's season because we don't know how far he's going to go, but now we know he's going to make it far enough to make an impression on us. And I feel like it might just spoil things a little bit because now we know someone who's not going to win Michelle's heart. Like, what if he was like a really big contender and now this just like puts a damper in things? That's just kind of where I'm feeling about it. We also know that Clayton is, as his Instagram bio says, a former freestyle rapper and washed up athlete that is now trying his luck in orthopedic sales. Word for word. Avery, what do you feel about him being on Michelle's season and what we know about him?
Well, what we know about him, like I said, isn't much, but he seems like a great guy. I love like an aspiring freestyle rapper. I love a guy who tries a lot of things, and now he's even dabbling into being the Bachelor. So I'm here for it. I will be calling the franchise after this to try to get on the show.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you, Zach. I think it does kind of put a damper on things, especially if he makes it like top two, top three. We're going to have that in the back of our minds the whole time while watching this. So I feel like it will kind of affect her season, but hopefully there's still a happy ending for everyone.
Yeah, Gianna, what do you think about him being from Michelle's season before the season even started yet?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the both of you. I think it's definitely a huge spoiler because, as you said, Avery, the whole time I'm watching Michelle's season, if this guy really, really is the Bachelor, I'm going to be hyper focused on him and just being like, okay, well, I know he's going home. It definitely ruins it. And like coming from me, I hate spoilers. With this job and being in this career, obviously, I kind of got to learn to love them because they are everywhere. I just don't see, like, I never understood why the franchise purposely spoils things, especially especially something as big as the next Bachelor before we even have Michelle's season. So I really do think that it was an accident, like for sure. I think it was someone in Missouri, like looking through their bushes, because there's no way that they would have purposely done this with, Michelle's season coming up and everything else we have coming. But yeah, it's crazy to me. So it sucks kind of. So not a fan of the spoiler, but
Yeah.
again, excited to kind of get to know him.
But don't you feel like we would have found out anyway who the Bachelor was before Michelle's season aired, regardless? Even if he was spotted today, he would have been spotted at some point. We would have known that he was the Bachelor before he got sent home on Michelle's season. So I feel like the reason we have this is just because we never get an extra Bachelorette in the fall anyway. So I guess it's bound to happen. I don't know. Like, I'm just iffy about it, but I mean, we know he's just gonna get the best edit, and like everyone's gonna like him, and it's like, are we even gonna get to know the real him or just like the edited version of him? It's just like a lot of pressure for him. Are you guys gonna be following him on Instagram and like stalking him, or like is this just not gonna happen?
I don't know, because I agree with you, Gianna. I hate the spoilers, so part of me doesn't even want to follow him. I want to know, like, I just want to watch it unfold as the show goes on, but now we already have this in the back of our minds, so I might as well just start keeping up on him now. But I'm going to wait a little while until her season starts, and then maybe I'll probably follow him.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean,
And
I'm not
we're
gonna
just gonna
lie.
be.
Before
Go
this
ahead.
live, I was already stalking him. So truth is out there. I went to his Instagram from that E-News article and I clicked right on it. People, I mean, Bachelor Nation fans are already going crazy, commenting on his photos, asking if he's the next Bachelor. His followers have gone up a little bit. I kept refreshing just to see. So I have been stalking him, but I think I definitely am not going to look into it too deeply to watch Michelle's season and his season from an unbiased perspective.
Yeah, I mean, things Bachelor Nation fans are doing this week. We're refreshing Clayton's followers, Natasha's followers, Brendan's, and Piper's. Just trying to get all the updates on their Instagrams and see who's gaining followers and who is losing followers. So there's just so much going on in Bachelor Nation, and we have to break down the newest episode of Bachelor in Paradise. That is why we are here. But before we do that, I want to remind everyone to like this video, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe. Ring the bell so you never miss out on any future Bachelor Nation videos. And we have to get into the Brendan and the Piper of it all, because the episode started off last night with Brendan and Piper getting confronted by Grocery Store Joe and all of the ladies. They wanted to get some clarification on what their actual relationship was before entering on the beach. Piper made it very clear in her statement and on the show that she was only coming to see Brendan and that they did not have a title on their relationship before coming to Paradise. However, they did admit they saw each other the day before they left, so it kind of sounds like they were together without a title. And Brendan and Piper obviously had to like talk privately whether they were going to leave or stay on the beach after they were confronted. Piper told Brendan that she knew they shouldn't have came, which was another indication that they were totally talking. And of course, there's a big discussion right now online about Piper buying her followers and Brendan losing all of his followers from the show. So there's a lot going on with these two, but I mean, Avery, has Natasha's justice finally been served?
I think it has finally. I mean, it should have happened before, honestly, Chris and Alana got booted off. They should have had that energy for Brendan and Piper from the start. So I'm glad it happened, even though it kind of took a while. I also thought it was interesting, though, the group who chose to do this. We didn't see Serena. We didn't see a lot of people who were friends with either Piper or Brendan involved in this. But I'm glad that Joe just kind of took a stand and took it upon himself to get him out of here, because there's no reason for them to be in Paradise. I think we've all concluded that. And I just think it's embarrassing how many times Piper has brought up followers. Like, no one else is talking about it but her. And that just tells you how calculated she was about this whole thing. And it pretty much just blew up in both of their faces.
So do you think Piper has bought her followers because she has this master's in marketing and she hasn't lost as many followers as a lot of people want her to? Do you think she bought the bots, Avery?
I think she did, considering how often she talks about it. It's obviously always on her mind. She's very concerned about gaining followers. So I wouldn't doubt that she took it upon herself to buy some since she's so into that. But, I think there's better ways to go about it. And obviously, Paradise wasn't one of those for her either. So maybe she should just put that to bed and like put her marketing degree or whatever somewhere else, not with the follower category, because it's definitely not working out.
It's not working out. I'm so glad that they are off the beach, to be honest. Like, they drove me so crazy, and I really wanted to like Brendan, and he just really showed his true colors, and it's just not colors that we want to spend too much energy talking about because it's not a vibe. But Gianna, I need to know, like, how long do we think Brendan and Piper are going to last in real life? Are they going down the aisle? Are they having babies? Like, what do you see in their future?
First of all, as a Bostonian myself, I want to say that we do not claim Brendan. We don't like him, and he's not ours, and he's not a reflection of the people that we have here living in Boston. I just wanted to put that out there first. And their plan just truly disgusted me. Like, I called this from a mile away. Like, right when we first started talking about the sketchy situation, I think that they were in a situationship. I think there was some manipulating going on Brendan's part, telling Piper like, oh, we can go on dates. Cause she was flying to Boston. It's like, you don't really do that like for a random person that you don't really care about. Like, they had to have been talking, like, who knows like what they were doing behind closed doors as well. Like, and it's just, I think that he was definitely, as we heard, convincing her to go on Paradise, and he's like, I'll wait for you there, and like we can do our thing there. And like you said, Zach, because she was like, I can't believe, like, I told you I didn't want to come here. And it's just crazy. So I think that this was a huge falling out for the both of them. Like, although they did leave together, there was silence in that car. Like, you could cut that tension with a knife. Like, Brendan did say one little sentence. I forget exactly what he said, like something about working on it when they get back. But Piper was pissed. So I think that they are already done. I really don't think they're even together right now, especially after Piper's last statement saying that, her reflections or her actions are not a reflection of Brendan or something. Like, she was trying to say basically like, I am not him and I'm not affiliated with him. So I think that after that they were done. Maybe they tried to work it out, but I just can't see it ever working or them even being together right now. So they're done, and I'm glad that they're done. They kind of deserved it. They did deserve it.
No,
period.
They're totally still together. They have been spotted together multiple times. I definitely know what you mean. I do not think they will go the distance, but right now I think they deserve each other. I think their energy aligns. I think that they are very similar. I think they both want the same things in life, but at the end of the day, they are two selfish people. So I don't think they will last. And it's also been really disgusting, as lack of a better word, to see the way that they're going about this on social media with the statements they're putting out. Piper even went so far to give her statement or sell her statement to Us Weekly, the magazine that she bragged about being on the show, and without even apologizing to Natasha. And Piper even says that she has no regrets. And it kind of seems like there's no amends. I mean, Avery, do you think that Natasha has forgiven them? Has there been a private conversation, or is this being dished out at the reunion, if there is one?
I don't think she's forgiven them. I don't think she needs to forgive them. I don't know how you can, especially considering they've been so like unapologetic about it. Had they handled this situation totally differently, then maybe there's room for forgiveness. But after all of this, I would just be like, please don't talk to me ever again. And like you said, they absolutely do deserve each other. Who else would want to date these two after all of this? No one, not anytime soon. So I hope Natasha's just living her best life. And obviously, she got the better end of the stick. She gained followers and they lost so many, as she should. But it's just embarrassing, pathetic, the worst look ever. Like, this is worse than Chris and Alana. They honestly shouldn't have even gotten similar energy to this. But I'm glad this finally happened because they were kind of just ruining the show at this point. Like, their attitudes, their fakeness, we didn't need any more of it.
We didn't. I'm so happy they are gone from the beach, which means we are done talking about Brendan and Piper. Thank God. We can finally focus more on the love stories that are happening, because this is what happens on The Bachelor, or on Bachelor in Paradise. The first half of the season is so focused on all of the drama, and then the second half is really focused on like the love stories that are developing and that are happening. So we're definitely going to get more into that throughout the rest of today's live, but there was a few other people that went home. Tammy, she had a very interesting ride on Bachelor in Paradise. She started things off with a quick fling with Aaron. That didn't last long when she kissed Aaron's mortal enemy, Thomas, right in front of him. Tammy couldn't control herself in that situation, and she was really trying to pursue a relationship with Thomas. But once Becca got a date card, he asked Thomas on a date. Thomas and Becca formed a connection, and Thomas ended up breaking up with Tammy on her birthday, right before the rose ceremony, this being the end and all of Tammy. Gianna, are we on team justice for Tammy? Are we on team karma for Tammy? Are you sad to see her go? What are your thoughts on Tammy?
I'm team karma for Tammy. I mean, I don't know how she can even like hysterically cry the way that she did when she's a hypocrite. She's a flat out hypocrite. I know that this is paradise, and I know that people are going to talk to this one, then move on to this one. Connections are going to form, connections are going to break. But she literally left Aaron. This photo cracks me up. She left Aaron for Thomas. And Aaron even gave her the warning, like, Thomas is not a good guy. Like, he's going to inevitably leave you at some point, like, for his own good, which, you know, Thomas had every right to form a new connection and go with his heart. I don't think he's in the wrong whatsoever. But Tammy can't be upset. Like, I get her feelings of being upset are valid, but, like, this hysterical crying was so unnecessary. Like, sister, you did the same thing. Like, imagine how Aaron must have felt watching you make out with Thomas on the bed. It's probably how you feel, like, seeing Thomas just go on a date with Becca. Like, worse. Like, it's kind of crazy. And she's, like, it's literally like she got what she deserved, how Aaron said. So I have no sympathy for her at all, and I won't miss her. Sorry.
No, I actually kind of completely agree. I think that Tammy did it to herself. I think she put out that energy out there. She was hopping around on the beach, doing her own thing. She kind of really only cared about herself at times before anyone else. And, you know, it kind of was just her time. I felt like her storyline played out, but I will say that I'm really upset that we didn't get the McKenna, Tammy part 2, because we know McKenna's going to walk into the beach in the next week or two, and Tammy's no longer there, so I'm really disappointed about that. But Aaron also went on a one-on-one date with Chelsea, and he gave his rose to Chelsea. Avery, how do we feel about Aaron and Chelsea? Do we see them moving forward, and do you have any final words for Tammy?
Well, Tammy, I think her time was up. You know, as we just discussed, what goes around comes back around. That definitely happened to her. She kind of deserved it all. So I think there's just no point of her staying. There's no one left for her. Aaron, on the other hand, I'm glad he was able to form a new connection with Chelsea, but I don't see them going the distance. I could see it being like more of a short-term fling. Don't ask me why. It doesn't make sense to me. They seem like totally different personalities. So at the end of the day, I don't think they're going to leave this place together.
Who do you think had a better or a worse birthday, Tammy or Kenny, Avery?
I think Tammy, because look where Kenny is now and look where Tammy is. At the end of the day, like, Kenny had a redemption story. He's back with his love, Mari, whereas Tammy got booted out of here with nothing but a cupcake. So that's really the saddest story of them all.
It truly is. I mean, Kenny got his cake thrown in the fire, though. Like, Gianna, whose birthday party are you attending, Tammy or Kenny's?
Oh, I mean, I feel, whose birthday party? I mean, if cake is going to be thrown in the fire, I don't want to be at that party because I want cake. So, like, maybe if I'm at Tammy's birthday, although something bad happens, at least I'll get a cake or a cupcake out of it and get to eat it while I'm, like, watching all the drama go down. So I'm going to say I'd rather be at Tammy's because this is just, like, comedy at its finest.
Yeah, I would rather be at Tammy's birthday party too, but lots of birthday drama on Paradise. I love a good birthday. But what else happened at the rose ceremony is that Ivan gave his rose to Kendall in shocking news. James gave it to Tia, and Kenny gave his rose to Mari. And this means that Demi, Deandra, as we mentioned, Tammy, and Jasenia went home. Big names going home. Honestly, justice for Deandra. She was the Paradise Queen that we did not know we needed. We did not know anything about her before this season. I'm so sad that she's gone. I feel like she had a thing with Carl, she had a thing with Chasen. Like, she gave her friendship rose to Ivan last week, and I think that was ultimately her demise. You're not going to be set up. If Deandra was able to stay a little bit longer, I could see her maybe connecting with one of the new guys coming in next week. We know DeMar is coming in, Ed is coming in, but that's not how Paradise works. You got to make your moves while you can. I'm so sad to see Deandra go. I'm sad to see Demi go. Jasenia, I loved her in the beginning, but I didn't like the way she handled the Chris and Elena situation. I feel like she really showed her like jealous side in that situation. Gianna, who are you gonna miss most? Demi, Deandra, or Jasenia?
Ooh, that is like the best and most hardest question I'll probably ever answer on this live. I feel like I'm going to miss Deandra the most just because I really wanted to see her go far. I wanted to get to know her even more just because I loved her energy. Like, she was a boss, like, she was a strong woman. She knew like what she wanted. And the fact that she gave a friendship rose to Ivan like shows how good of a person she is. Like, I think she has a good head on her shoulders. So I really just was looking forward to get to know her, but like gladly I can follow her on Instagram. We have social media so I can see what she's posting on there. But it's hard because I'll miss Demi's commentary the most. She is hilarious. Zach, we always say that you are Demi, like you would be the Demi in these situations. Like, she just brings that comedic relief. She brings the drama, and I was there for it. So yeah, it's hard, but I think Deandra probably the most out of the two.
Avery, who are you gonna miss most? Demi, Deandra, Tammy, or Jasenia? Or Brendan or Piper?
I'll definitely miss Demi stirring the pot, but like you guys just said, Deandra, like, she was the hidden gem from the start. We didn't know much about her, and as the show went on and on, I just learned to like her so much, and I was rooting for her the whole time. She didn't play anyone to get like to stay any longer, unlike some people. But I'm just like,
Brendan.
could Ivan just have given her the friendship rose one more time? Like, let's be honest, I don't see him and Kendall ever having a connection. It's just kind of like desperate at this point. But if had he done that, I think DeMar would have been great for Deandra. So it's just the timing with everything. I wish it was a little different. But yes, I'm sad to see her go. Definitely will be following her on socials though.
Yeah, she's killing it on TikTok. Deandra is hilarious. I feel like Ivan just wanted to give his rose to Kendall because at least there was a chance that there was a romantic connection. With Deandra, it really was just a friend. And at the end of the day, at this point in Paradise, like, you want to give your rose to someone who you have at least feelings for. There's just a potential, even though Kendall's clearly emotionally unavailable, and we'll get into that in a little bit. I think Ivan did make the best decision. I'm going to miss Demi as well, but I also feel like Demi, like, I love her, but she was just very immature in so many different situations with Kenny and Mari. Like, I don't think Mari, like, was as mean as, like, Demi made it out to be. And, like, I obviously love Demi's commentary. There's so many good things to say about her, but it was definitely her time. And Demi even said on her Instagram today that she'll be back on the beach next year if they invite her. So this might not be the last of Demi, everybody. We have to continue on to what happened after the rose ceremony, but before we do that, I want to remind everyone we have a Q&A at the end of today's live. Tweet us your questions, tweet us your favorite memes, send us your opinions. We cannot wait to read them all and break it all down later. But let's continue on because we had a new arrival named Blake who was tatted up from the Midwest. I saw a meme about Blake where it's like, who is Blake? Like, literally, like, what season was he on? Was he even on a season? Don't remember anything about him. But he hit things off with Tia and took her on the date. And this was very upsetting to James because James has had a new girlfriend every week. You know, he had a thing with Victoria P. He had a thing with Demi. Like, it's just not working out for James, it looks like. And, you know, Tia and Blake went on the date. Avery, do we feel bad for James? Do we feel like he should have stayed in his box? Do we feel like James is just wasting his time in Paradise at this point?
I feel like it's just not the time or place for him. We haven't really seen anyone completely like been swooning over him. He's just not that guy, and maybe not here. I feel like he'd honestly have better luck just like out at a bar meeting someone than, you know, the contenders he's getting on Paradise. And I mean, he's a great guy. I don't have anything bad to say, but I do feel like the best decision for him at this point would probably to be just leave, you know? We all can see it. I don't think anything's going to happen with him.
Yeah, I think it's going to be his time to leave, but I'm sure next week when there's new guys, he's going to not end up getting a rose. But Gianna, what do you think about this new guy, Blake? Do you remember him from, I think he was on Tasha and Claire's season.
I really like didn't know who he was, like you said. Like I was like, wait a second, who is this
Mm-hmm.
man? I think he's very handsome. I also love tattoos. But yeah, I was just like reaching for like a thought about him that I just didn't have at all. So I'm kind of interested to see where this goes with them. Like they look like they're a good match. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. So I think that they may hit it off, honestly, like just by their vibe and like how they were kissing each other. I think that things may go far for these two.
You know, I would have thought that too, Gianna, until photos surfaced on the internet yesterday of Tia with a potential love interest or boyfriend outside of Paradise. So, a guy by the name of Taylor Mock posted a slideshow of pictures from his summer in Nashville. And one of those pictures, since deleted, was a picture of him kissing Tia Booth on the cheek. Since the post got noticed by Bachelor Nation fans pretty quickly, Taylor deleted the post, went on private, and now there's no word if he's dating Tia or not. We can interpret this picture of him kissing her as much as we want to. It's possible that maybe they are dating and they met after Paradise because, you know, filming wrapped a couple months ago. It's possible that they were dating before Paradise and Tia was shady. It's possible that he's her gay best friend. Unlikely, but you never know. Avery, what are your thoughts on these pictures and this rumor about Tia? Did this guy spoil the show for her? Is her contract gonna get in trouble?
I mean, how did he not know the rules? Or how did, I don't know. Usually people kind of tiptoe around this situation a little more, but this picture is definitely giving boyfriend. But the main question is, did they meet each other before or after the show? And I'm just going to go with after. I feel like there was enough time since they wrapped to, you know, develop a new relationship and start a fling. But he has to know better. If you're dating a Bachelor in Paradise contestant, you got to wait to post. So,
Especially with
Bachelor
Tia.
Nation, especially with Tia, you know, especially after
She's
last
been on the
night's
show
episode,
so many
we just saw her
times.
go on a date. Yeah, so I think they're dating, but we'll have to learn more about this when we can.
Gianna, if you're Tia, are you slapping this guy in the face? Like, are you breaking up with him? Or was it a simple mistake?
I would probably just slap him. I don't think I'd go so far as to break up with him, especially if this is a brand new relationship. Like, I'm sure if it is new as of a couple months ago, maybe they're still in the honeymoon phase. Like, maybe she didn't even have that talk with him right away, like being like, oh, like, we can't post anything. Or maybe she did, and it kind of just got left in the dust because they're doing so many things together. Like, I do think that he just simply maybe forgot if that talk ever was had. And you said it was a swipey picture anyway, and maybe he's like, okay,
Yeah, it was
maybe
like
if
the
I put
third
it
or fourth.
far yes, he's thinking if I put it in far enough away that people won't really realize or know that it's her, like they'll just never know. I think that there was just not really a lot of smart thought behind the post of this picture, but I wouldn't break up with him. I'd just be like, okay, great, like why? And I hope she doesn't get in trouble. I really hope she doesn't, because we love her. I'm happy if she's happy.
She's definitely protected by Bachelor Nation. I would not put it completely past her if maybe she had a thing with this guy before the show. I think producers will always like respect Tia and always give her a good edit. But I also think the Bachelor in Paradise rules are a little different. Like Brendan and Piper have been spotted together like 5 times in the past couple of months. There's been another couple from Paradise who I won't name in case people don't know who have been spotted together a couple times. So I think it's a little loose or a little bit looser than The Bachelor, where you are on like a tight shift. Did you ever get spotted? You're like breaking the contract, you're breaching it. So I think it's like a little different, but this guy should have known way better, especially because Tia has been on the show like 14 times and she is just like a prominent member in Bachelor Nation. So she's probably pretty pissed off about it. I'm assuming she's freaking out, but now we know Tia leaves the booth, leaves the show single. So RIP Tia. You know, I mean, did you like the date, Avery? Did you think it was cute? Are you happy little John is here? He was hosting it.
The date, I'm gonna be honest.
It was like
it didn't,
car
like,
rating, car racing.
yeah, I just didn't really know the guy that much, Blake. So I wasn't as like engaged as I was in other dates, you know. It was cute. They actually did have chemistry, but as we know now, that isn't gonna go that far.
Well, what do you think about Little John being the new host? Is this new energy or I mean, I just feel like I'm like forgetting about these hosts. They come in for 1 minute and then I'm just like, "Oh yeah, they were there."
I already
Like, when did
forgot.
Titus
It was
even leave?
definitely new energy. It was fun and fresh, and the yes, he does. That's all great, but it's just such a short, small thing. It's easy to forget about, but I've been liking it. I think it could have been way more of a fail, alternating hosts every week, but it wasn't too messy. It didn't really get in the way of too much drama, and it's pretty refreshing.
Yeah, Gianna, would you rather be on a date hosted by Lance Bass, Titus Burgess, or Little John, or David Spade?
Oh, oh,
You have to
oh my
pick
God.
at least
I would
pick two. Pick two.
I'm gonna say David Spade just because he's the comedic relief of any awkward or like sad situation. So I would feel very comforted if he was like right there. But Lance Bass hosting that other date, like when he was the waiter or giving them the questions, like that was
The fear
also the cutest
factor.
thing ever. Yeah, the fear factor, which they kind of copied from James Corden, Eat It or whatever it's called on
Yeah,
his show,
yeah.
but we won't get into that because that was a long time ago. But yeah, I would have to say David Spade or Lance Bass for sure. I loved both of them so much.
Yeah, I mean, I probably want to go on a date with Little John. I think he's so fun, or at least him hosting the date. So that is my vote. But let's continue on. The next guy to enter the beach was Dr. Joe. So Dr. Joe was a huge fan favorite from Tasha and Claire's season. A lot of people wanted him to actually be the first Asian bachelor, and I guess that's not a possibility anymore. So he came in and he gave Natasha the justice that she deserved. He asked Natasha on a date, and everything was just so excited, and everyone was so excited for Natasha. And then, in typical Bachelor in Paradise fashion, we find out that Dr. Joe is friends with Brendan, and that he's close. He's close friends with Brendan, where he like basically asked, "Where's Brendan? Where's Brendan?" And it really puts a damper in things because Natasha then had to explain to Dr. Joe everything that happened before, or give, the spark notes, the summary before he showed up. And I feel like Natasha's disappointed now to hear this. And it seemed like Dr. Joe was still defending Brendan in a weird way. Avery, can we still have hope for them, or is this just not going to work out in the long run?
There's no hope. I mean, this was already a horrible setup. Out of all the people for her to go on a date with, it had to be Brendan's bestie. And from the start, like you said, he was so concerned, like, where's Brendan? What happened to Brendan?
Yeah.
And the second she started explaining, his whole energy changed. It put a damper on the entire date. And I think that kind of affected even how he felt about her, because he was low-key still defending Brendan. But I feel like when he watches this back now, his feelings will change a little more about the
Hopefully.
situation. But I feel like in his mind, he was like, oh, well, that ship sailed now. If this all happened with her and Brendan, I'm not going to like be involved at all. But I don't know. It's just unfortunate. We want the best for Natasha, and this definitely isn't it.
It's not it at all. But I really like Dr. Joe. But even after watching the date last night, I was like, why is he just still... He's like, I love Brendan. And Natasha's like, he gaslighted me. He manipulated me. He lied to me. I love Brendan. Like, it just, like, it still wasn't registering in Dr. Joe's brain that Brendan might not be a good guy. I mean, Gianna, do you just have to stick with your friends till the end? Like, when do you know when it's time to call a friend out and hold them accountable? And when can you just be loyal and sticking by your friend?
Great question. It's hard because this kind of shows the way that he was defending Brendan after everything Natasha was saying. This shows how close the two may be, because think about your own best friend in this life. If you had someone coming up to you that you just met saying, they did this to me, they did that to me, you're kind of going to side with your best friend at first because it's someone you've known, you've trusted, versus someone, again, you've just met and you haven't established a connection that goes as far as trust with. So I understand why he was kind of defending Brendan in a sense, because they must be really, really close friends. That doesn't make it right, though. I think that he really should have asked Natasha, really, like, what do you mean? Like, what exactly happened? Maybe there was that conversation and we just didn't get to see it. We don't see a lot of the actual conversations that go down. But what I'm really concerned about, I'm like, this is so utterly, like, such a big coincidence that, of course, the one guy that comes in to save Natasha is Brendan's best friend. Like, did the producers do this, yet they gave her a rose to stay? I'm like, that's manipulation, because I there's no way that out of all the men that came down those stairs, it was one of Brendan's best friends, and then he just so happened to ask Natasha on the date right away. So I'm just like, what is this show? Who is behind the scenes of the show? I just want to have a talk with them because I'm confused now.
The producers definitely planned that. They're like, Joe, go in, ask Natasha on a date. Like, of course they did that. But I'm glad that you brought that up, Gianna, because I forgot to mention that emotional scene at the rose ceremony with Natasha. You know, she got a rose from Wells and the franchise, the producers. They gave her a rose because of everything that happened with Brendan. So she got like a free rose. And it reminded me of season 1 when Chris Bukowski left the show. He like broke his leg or broke his knee, and he gave a rose to Michelle Money, who just deserved love more than anyone else. She was a single mom. She was so upset about everything that was happening, and it was just such an emotional moment. I was crying last night. I actually literally did sob when Natasha got a rose. How powerful was that scene to you, Avery?
I was just hoping something like that would happen. It was very powerful. Also kind of sad that she's even in this situation to begin with, because there's like all this like pity that comes with it. And it's like, no, we just want the best for her. And it's horrible that she got framed in this light and caught up in this situation. But finally, everything is okay until they brought Joe in. And did you guys notice that Joe, usually when there's a new guy, they talk to multiple people, then they decide who they're going to go on the date with. He only talked to Natasha. That's how we know this was all driven by producers. He didn't really get a chance to talk to anyone before asking her on a date. It was just Natasha, I'm going to go on a date with Natasha, and then we're immediately talking about Brendan. So it was definitely a setup. This poor girl can't catch a break, but hopefully next week with one of the new guys, I hope they have chemistry.
Well, I also think Natasha's the only single girl. I mean, there was an uneven amount of guys and girls because everyone gave someone a rose except Natasha. So not only was this definitely a producer plan, but she also it seemed like she was the only option. Avery, is there another option? Maybe Tia is kind of single, but like everyone else is so locked and loaded. Mauricia, Abigail, Serena. I mean, Kendall could have been an option.
Kendall, yeah, there's definitely Kendall and Tia. They're not coupled up like the other ones are, but then again, this is paradise. It's all about getting to know multiple people. It hasn't been unheard of that someone walks in and asks to go on a date with someone who is coupled up. Like, you can choose whoever you want to. It's up to the other person if they want to go. So I still think this was all producers say. Maybe he did have someone else in mind, but they were like, we'll pay you extra if you take Natasha out. Who knows?
Yeah, they definitely do that. Oh my God. And there's still so much paradise left. Like, we're going to get into the previews for next week in a few minutes. There is so much drama still coming. I don't even know how many episodes are on this show this season, because I feel like what we've been through has been like an entire year. Like, Paradise feels like it's been forever. There's still so much to go down, but we still have to talk about the first couple to say that they're falling in love with each other. So Joe, Grocery Store Joe, he planned a little private picnic for Serena. They revealed that they are falling in love with each other. They seem so smitten. We're happy for them, but someone who's not happy is Kendall, who was watching the whole thing go down from a mile away. And even though Kendall obviously formed some sort of connection with Ivan because he gave her the rose, she still wouldn't accept a kiss from Ivan because Ivan tried to kiss her, and Kendall said, "I'm not ready yet. I just want to take things slow." And then she started crying. Like, kiss Ivan. Ivan, like,
Kiss
justice
Ivan.
for Ivan. Like, seriously.
Honestly.
Gianna, do you feel bad for Kendall? Do you feel like she should have kissed Ivan? Should she be more aggressive with Joe if she really wants to be with Joe? Or, like, what? Because she's not moving on.
I don't feel bad for her at all. I mean, she showed up. She's like, I want Joe. And then I feel like she's also said, no, but I'm over Joe. And then she's like, but I want Joe. And then now she's crying over Joe. Like, if you really want him, then go. And then we'll see her, kind of going up to Joe in the next clips that we'll play in a couple of minutes. But I just don't feel bad for her at all. I feel bad for Ivan. Like, he was trying to comfort her. And then the way that she curved him, like his kiss attempt, I was like, oh, how dare you? Like, you have this guy right in front of you that's trying, that you've been talking to, and you're gonna sit here and like cry over your ex on the beach. Like, the beach is meant to, like, party, find a connection, like kiss whoever you want, and like don't come here to sit and cry over your ex who clearly is like over you. Like, I guess she definitely thought in her head that she was gonna show up to the beach, the flame was going to be rekindled and they were going to get married and live happily ever after again. And that just was not it. Like, I don't know, again, what producers told her. They probably were like, Joe's actually waiting for you. He said that he wants you to walk
He's in love with
downstairs. And then
you.
she's like, all right, I'm going. And he's actually going to propose on the beach. He already has the ring. Like,
Oh
I
my
don't feel
God.
bad for her at all. Like, she did it to herself. Her producers did it to her. But she should really give Ivan a chance. Like, come on.
Justice for Ivan, Ivan for Bachelor. Avery, what are your 2 cents?
I mean, this situation's crazy to me. If I were her, I don't care who it was. If I saw my ex fiance basically telling another girl he's falling for her, like all over this other girl on the beach, I would be kissing everyone. I don't care who it is, like anything to just move on and show that I'm not here still lurking, trying to get his attention, because that is the worst look ever. And it's right in front of her. She knows he's not going to come back to her. He's fully with Serena. There's zero chance. So not only is this just anyone, it's Ivan. He's trying to kiss her, he's trying to comfort her, and she still has the audacity to just completely curve him. Why? At this point, just go home. I don't know why she's just hanging out, because this sounds like a horrible situation to be in and just a really bad look.
I just don't understand why she came in the first place if she wasn't going to be open to dating
No.
other people. Like, maybe if she gave Ivan a kiss, that could help her get over Joe. And, like, because she said at the end of the episode, she was
Absolutely.
like, I don't want to be here and see Joe flourishing in a relationship and me single and sulking. I'm like, you don't have to be single and sulking. You could be making out with Ivan, living your best life, rubbing it in Joe's face. Maybe Joe could get jealous. Like, she is just so wishy-washy, and she has been wishy-washy since she was on Ari's season. She was going back and forth. Ari had to pull her aside multiple times at rose ceremonies to be like, are you really in this? And she, like, almost got sent home multiple times. Like, Kendall has been frustrating me on this show for way too many years. Kendall, go home. Move on. Like, I am so beyond over it, and I can't even, like, it's frustrating. But Joe and Serena, Gianna, do we ship them? Because they're obviously, like, obsessed with each other.
Of course. Obviously, I love them. I ship them. I also just loved how Serena was the one to say it first. You know, we kind of heard her telling Wells at the bar that she was kind of falling in love, but she didn't know how to say it. And then, like, the way that she said it to him, they were both so kind of giddy and, like, awkward, and it wasn't really coming out. And, like, the fact that she's so young, we have to remember, guys, she's, like, our age. Like, the fact that she's
Younger.
on this show, like, younger, telling a guy that she's falling in love with him, like, she made the first move. Like, yes, like, tell people how you're feeling, get what you want. And I love that from her. She is the complete opposite of Kendall, which I think is exactly what Joe needs in his life. We can't have wishy-washy people, and I think that Joe is really going to obviously appreciate that about her, and I really hope they leave together. They're just so cute together. I can't even stand it.
They are so cute. I really like them too, but I mean, I didn't like them individually as much, but together I just know that they like actually are genuine. So I'm happy for them. And I love Mauricia and Riley too. They left the rose ceremony this week to go to the boom boom room. They had like a chocolate sundae whipped cream situation. Avery, where are we at with Mauricia and Riley? Or do you think that they're gonna get engaged? I mean, they seem to be hot and heavy right now.
They have to get engaged. They were literally made for each other. I have no complaints as far as they go. Just like how you were talking about Joe and Serena, Gianna, that's how I feel about Riley and Marisa. There's such a match, and I'm so happy for them. And every time it pans to them, I just want to see more, because that's what Paradise is about. You know, they did it the right way. They didn't know each other before. They just had the whole experience, and it worked out for them. So I hope more people can experience that.
Oh, more will. And we're going to start getting into some previews for next week. We have some clips of next week's episode that we're going to break down. We're going to see if we can determine who's falling in love with who's going to be coming in, the drama. Because as I mentioned, there's still much more Paradise to be played out. And I feel like we saw that like BIP schedule. Apparently there's like 3 more Tuesdays, and then they didn't say when it was. But I feel like there's still so many more people coming in, and then the finale, and if there's a reunion, I'm like, this show could go on for like another month. We know that Michelle's season starts October like 17th or 16th. So we have like maybe 3 to 4 more episodes of BIP. So I'm excited to see what happens next week. Gianna, are you excited to see? We're going to get these clips up for you guys in just a couple of minutes.
Oh, of course I'm excited. I just feel like every single week is pure drama, pure chaos. I kind of like that we only have Tuesdays now, just because the 2 days I was living for all the drama, but I was also getting overwhelmed. And then when we'd have to do lives like this, there were 2 or 4 hours of Bachelor in Paradise drama to cover. So it was craziness. But as always, I can't wait to see the drama unfold and, what plot twists are going to be happening, like what hosts are coming next. I'm always excited for Bachelor in Paradise.
Yes. Okay, we have our first clip ready here. So let's play it and see what is going to go down on the beach. Here we go.
I never stopped loving you.
See how upset she is, but I'm feeling things for Serena.
It's the hardest thing I've ever been through, and it just keeps going.
Oh my God. It is not Joe's responsibility to console you and to be your shoulder to cry on. He broke up with you a year ago. Literally a year ago. Why is she still doing this? How patient does this man have to be with you that you have to follow him to a beach in Mexico to cry over him when Ivan is right there? Avery, please make this make sense.
I mean, and that's the biggest difference between her and Serena. Serena knows what she wants. This girl does not know what she wants whatsoever. She does not have to voluntarily sit here and watch her ex with someone else. She could leave. And now she's just crying to him like, I can't get over you. Why am I in this situation? This sucks. Then don't be in this situation. Go home. She's not making it better for anyone.
Literally go home.
He should not be her shoulder to cry on. He should not even be in her life anymore. This is just such a headache for literally the both of them.
So do we think she's just going to leave, Gianna? Is that what it's setting up to be?
She better. If she doesn't leave, I'm going to jump through my TV and make her leave. Like, what else is she going to do? Like, is she just going to sit there and keep on crying? And what? I just don't get it. Like,
kisses?
I can't even see her giving a rose to anybody else. Like, how are you going to get over it within the next week? Kendall, I just don't understand.
Kendall?
So she better leave. Like, she really better leave. I can't do this.
Hear me out.
Poor Joe. Yeah.
Hear me out. James and Kendall. Yes or no?
Sure, and they both can just leave. We're tired.
They could leave together.
She's annoying
They could be a match made in
I
heaven.
don't want to see her anymore. Yeah, they should.
Yeah, I wonder, she's totally just going to pull a deuce. Do you guys think Serena will talk to her, or do you think it's better for Serena to be like, nothing to do with me, I'm minding my own business?
I mean, what's the point? What is she gonna do? Cry to Serena? Oh, poor me, you're with my ex. What are they gonna get out of talking to each other? Literally nothing.
Maybe from hearing
she
from a
shouldn't
girl,
even be
though.
involved. She shouldn't
I
be
don't think
involved
it's-
in their relationship. He moved on.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's over.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's true. A girl's perspective could help Kendall, but Kendall, figure this out by yourself. Kendall, just go back to LA. You're not moving. You're still not going to move to Chicago. That's the other thing. She still is not moving to Chicago. If she came to, what if she came to Paradise with a one-way ticket? She showed her plane ticket. She's like, I'm going to Chicago right after this. Will you take me back? That would be different. But she still is not making sense. You need to just be straight up. So we need to just see what happens next week. We are all assuming Kendall's gonna leave, which would suck because then Ivan's gonna have to leave unless he finds another connection. So let's take a look at our next clip and see if we can get any more clues to what will happen next week. Let's do it.
I am falling in love with you.
Get the butterflies thinking about him. There could be an engagement here very soon. I am falling in love with you.
I'm falling in love with you too.
Two very solid couples, Mari and Kenny, Riley and Mauricia. 3 couples now have said that they're falling in love. Joe and Serena were the first. Do you think that Mari and Kenny really are going to be able to put all the Demi stuff behind them now, Avery, now that she's gone?
I think so. As much as I hated that happened, I can see that was a fluke, and I can see that he's in love with Mari. Mari is it at the end of the day. It was unfortunate that had to happen, but I think they definitely came out of it stronger. And like we just said, these are our top 3 like most solid couples. I could see them definitely getting engaged at the end of this.
Gianna, where are you third wheeling? Where are you at? Are you on Mauricio and Riley's date, or are you in the boom boom room with Kenny and Mari? You have to pick one.
Well, I don't know if I'd want to be in the room, but I just
Gianna,
love
be
Kenny and
honest.
Mari. Well, okay. This is PG-13 here at Shared News. We can't dive into that. But I really just love these two, like Kenny and Mari. They're my favorite, like right from the get-go. I love their connection. I think that one conversation, again, we don't see full conversations in Paradise. Like it must have just been such a miscommunication on Mari's part and even Kenny's part that led him to Demi. And honestly, like Demi pretty much pounced on him from what we saw. Like she was like on him on that daybed. She didn't care about Mari. She didn't care about what anyone else thought. And she was being selfish in that moment for what she wanted. So Kenny just kind of went with it. And he's like, okay, well, Mari basically said she doesn't want me. We all know what happened. It was just a mistake. But I don't think that mistake was anything like that. I don't think it was malicious on Kenny's part. I think it was literally just like he was confused, Mari was confused, and they both just found their way back home. And I think that kind of blip in their relationship is what's making them so strong now. We saw at the end of last night's episode, everyone was kind of like looking at them. They were like making out in the pool. They were just arm in arm together. Like they were really close, and we could see right now, I mean, he just said he's falling in love with her. I think that they needed to go through that rough patch to get to where they are right now. And I love them. Maybe I'll be in the boom boom room with them, but I know
like
Avery
it.
loves Marisa and Riley. So
Riley.
that's the team she's on. Yep.
She'll be in that boom boom room. And I'll just be in all the boom boom rooms. I'll be floating around from one boom boom room to the next. What do you mean, Avery?
Well, I kind of like Kenny and Mari more. Actually, I can't decide because I like them both for different reasons. But I guess I would just have to draw out of a hat what room I would end up with. I'd be happy with either or.
Okay, well, I'm honestly, like, I agree with, like, everything you guys have been saying, but I'm still a little iffy on Mari just because she messed that whole thing up. Like, Team Kenny all the way. So I'm fine with Mari and Kenny because, like, I love them originally, but I still need to see them play out before I'm, like, fully on board for the engagement if it happens at the end of the season. So we'll have to see what goes down, but things are going to get a little crazy in Paradise. So let's take a look at our next clip and see who possibly could be entering the beach.
About to turn this place upside down.
These men are looking fine.
I cannot be happier right now.
Oh my God, we can't see who Natasha's making out with, but I think it's Ed.
Ed.
But it also could be Blake.
It's
It could be
Ed.
Blake. It's Ed?
Oh.
It's Ed.
Blake.
It's Ed.
Not
It's
the
Ed.
guy that Tia went on a date with?
No,
Okay.
100%.
Well, damn. We have two new arrivals, Damar and Ed. Avery, you're on the same page with me. We love Damar. Like, we're obsessed with Damar, are we
love
not?
Damar.
Oh my God, Natasha
I'm
is me
obsessed
with
with
the
Damar. I honestly kind of thought like Tammy would go after Damar if they were on the beach at the same time, and now I'm trying to like think who's left for him. It's just he came on at the
Natasha.
wrong time. Deandra would have
Yeah,
been
but they
great for
might-
him,
Ooh, I hate when that
and
happens.
now it looks
when,
like
someone
Natasha's
leaves.
with Ed. Yeah, the timing.
So what I remember about Ed is that he had a funny scene with Chris Harrison where he was thinking he was going to like Claire's room or Tayshia's room, whoever the Bachelorette was at the time, and he ended up going to Chris Harrison's room on accident, producer planned, and they had like a funny conversation. They had a great dynamic, and then that's where a lot of people loved Ed. Ed does have some like some people like can't stand Ed too because he could be a little bit like he's a goofball. So I don't know what kind of energy he will bring. I definitely am more excited to see Damar, but I think the two of them coming in, look how excited they are. They're going to come in hot. Gianna, what can we expect? Who are you more excited to see?
Oof. Well, I love the fact that Natasha is with Ed because again, justice for Natasha. Like these producers need to stop messing with her time in Paradise. Like obviously the Brendan situation wasn't a producer thing, but to bring in Dr. Joe, like come on, like give her a break, let her find her love, her connection organically. And I think we're going to see it with Ed. I don't know how far they're going to go, obviously, but the fact that they are there, they're definitely kissing. There's no doubt about it. And they look like they're really into each other. So I'm really excited to see Ed's time. I don't know, like, poor Tamar, like, is he going to, Kendall? Like, she's probably going to be bawling her eyes out on the beach, like, or just not there, hopefully. So hopefully she went home by then. But yeah, I'm excited to see where
she's
Ed
going
and
to be
Natasha
gone.
go.
There's no way. There's just no way. But get it, Natasha. Let's keep going at these clips. We have a few more to go because they're only getting crazier as Paradise is. So let's play the next one. Bum, bum, bum. It's gonna be juicy.
Oh, yeah.
I love that we're on this frame, though, because Natasha looks so happy with Ed.
This is great.
Thank
Ed.
God.
Maybe we were meant to stay on this screen for a while. They don't want us to stop talking about it. Justice for Natasha.
No.
I honestly did not see this one coming. Natasha and Ed, so random, but I'm glad it's happening.
So random. Yeah,
I know.
me too.
She deserves it, though.
Natasha
She
deserves
deserves
this.
sign love.
Okay, let's play the next clip.
Marissa was everything that I thought she'd be. We may be walking out of here hand in hand. I'm not going down without a fight.
God, they're kissing.
I will slap that stupid.
Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna talk about Ivan and Chelsea because the next clip is get crazier. The next clip is gonna be crazier with Ivan and Chelsea and like Aaron. But oh my God, Damar is gonna take Marissa on a date. That's what it looks like, which is not gonna go over with Riley. They already spent many times in the boom boom room, which I think it's like really solidifies a couple more. They look really good together too, and they look happy together. Avery, what do you think?
I mean, I like it. I'm like for it, but knowing that Riley is in the picture, I'm gonna have to be like, no, I'm still Team Riley, just because we've seen how far they've come and we've seen their connection and it's so strong. I feel like Damar's coming in a little too late and he can't break that. They've already gone through so much. Like, they're way too strong for this to break it. But Ivan was like, I'm not wasting any more time. Who's next? Chelsea. And he got straight to it. Like, I wasn't expecting that either.
I also think Chelsea's probably a lot taller than Ivan, even though she's probably taller than everyone except for Thomas. Chelsea would have been great with Thomas. But I'm excited for Ivan, like, if this is a thing, because Ivan deserves this more than anyone. But I mean, I just love Damar, and if Damar wants Marissa, like, I don't love Riley. Like, I don't stan Riley. I feel like he was kind of rude to Chris and Elena. So like, I'm Team Marissa, and I loved her friendship with Demi. That was like low key. But I mean, it's gonna be a mess. Gianna, what are your 2 cents?
I definitely like Damar way better than Riley. I just don't like Riley's vibe. I think that he thinks that, you know, he's all that type of thing with the muscles and this. Like, he has a lot of swag that he, like, portrays, and I feel like it's almost an act. Like, I'm like, do we know the real Riley? Like, I always just feel like I'm watching, like, a character of some sort. But I did like him with Marissa. Like, I thought they vibed really well, but I feel like Marissa and Damar, like, I'm so for this happening, and you never know. Like, maybe she will go on the date and be like, no, like, I'm with Riley and I'm going to stick with that. Like, we never know what's going to happen. But I feel like if she did feel that solid with Riley, she would have said no. But clearly she said yes because they were hand in hand with that date card. So I don't know. Maybe she is just wanting to keep her options open, as she should. She's beautiful. I also love her. She's like one of my favorites ever on this beach. So I'm happy for her. I'm happy she's seeing where it's going. But yeah, Ivan, and I can't even believe what's about to happen. Like,
just wait.
Yeah, let's dive into it after we watch the next clip, because this is about to get crazy.
It's about to get crazy, but I do want to say Avery had a really good point, because Mauricia and Riley have been through so much already that it just wouldn't make sense for Mauricia to even go on the date to begin with. So maybe they're not going on the date and it was just a conversation, because it's just the date card on the beach. It's not like they're like in the jungle, like on the date. So we'll see. But let's take a look at this next clip, because this is the drama we did not know we needed at all.
Come over here.
No, I'm not coming over to you.
Come over here.
Come here.
Just move, bro.
What are you about to do about it? a dangerous tropical storm approaching.
Oh my god. Okay, dangerous tropical storm. That'll be crazy. Avery, who you got? Ivan or Aaron?
Not Ivan and Aaron fighting.
Who you got?
Of course
Who you
I'm
got?
Ivan. I feel like Aaron's all talk. Like Aaron's not gonna do anything other than like get in his face, which I cannot wait to see. But I'm Team Ivan. Always have been. Always will be. But I love Aaron and I love the
Gianna.
drama and I'm glad this is happening. But Team Ivan.
Gianna, who you got?
I was gonna say Aaron just because he has a lot of built up anger between
He does.
Thomas and now this, and I feel like he's just gonna let it all out right here, right now. Like, I hope they don't actually fight. Like, I really hope they don't get physical
They
because
won't.
they definitely won't. I just don't like when men act like this, like over a woman. Like we saw this happen and like before, and it's just like so disgusting. Like send them home if they're gonna act like little, high schoolers even. Like it's kind of ridiculous for them to act this way. I'm so looking forward to see how Ivan ended up with Chelsea. Like how did that even go down? For Aaron to even then get this mad. Like I can't wait to see how it all plays out, but it makes me disappointed that they're fighting. But yeah, no, I don't like this behavior from these
I
guys.
think Ivan's above this. Like Ivan is so mature. Like I
is.
love Aaron too for like the
Yeah.
memes. Like I didn't like Aaron on the until I saw memes. Like, and now that I know the memes, Aaron's like an icon. The memes have made Aaron an icon. But Aaron did the same thing to Thomas and the Tammy thing. Like, this is a repeated pattern for Aaron. I wouldn't be surprised if this happened in his real life too. I think he's honestly focused way too much on his bromance with James, where no wonder these girls that you're trying to date are pursuing other guys because you're too focused on James and the box. So I'm not surprised that this is gonna go down. I think Chelsea will choose Ivan. And I guess we can assume that Kendall leaves. So Ivan wants to at least try it out. I wish he made. I mean, everything would have
As
just
he
been
should.
fine if Ivan and Jasenia just made it work, but they didn't. So here we are. Let's take a look at the next clip because Paradise is gonna get crazy. So let's hit it.
It's headed straight for us. We need to start evacuating right now.
Earlier today, I was stressed about who I was going to give my rose to, but now I'm stressed about being alive.
She's stressed about being alive. Tia, you will survive this rainstorm, I promise you. But I remember seeing this teaser in the beginning of the season, and I was like, oh my god, maybe it's something with COVID. But now it seems like there's like a tropical storm. Do you guys remember hearing about a tropical storm in Mexico in June? Did it ever make world news or
no,
national
because
news?
I was also in Mexico in June around the same
I
time they were
was too.
filming this. Yeah, I know
Okay,
it's a
and-
big place, but I don't
Yeah.
think there was anything that extreme.
No,
Well,
not at all.
Something for them to
Like-
leave the beach. Like,
No, there was a day that I was in Mexico and it definitely rained. It poured, but that was it. That was it in June. Nothing
That
of
was it?
tropical storm.
so what do we think's gonna happen? Are they just gonna go to the hotels for a night and then go back to Paradise? Or are they gonna film in like little villages? I'm excited for a change of scenery because I love the Paradise like backdrop and everything, but sometimes it does get kind of boring when like everyone's at the same one beach, one bar. Like villas? Little
I don't
spin-off?
I really don't know. I
Gianna?
don't
I don't
think
know if
that
they have time for all that.
Yeah, I don't think that this is gonna turn into like a huge thing where they go to like a hotel or villas. Like I literally think it's just gonna be like, hey, let's all like go to. Every set that a show is filmed, there has to be a place where you shelter in place. It's required that everyone has an established place where if an emergency like a storm or something else happens, they have to go there. I think they're just gonna go chill, wait for the storm to pass, and come back to Paradise. But I did want to point out something in this clip that's very important. Marissa's arm was around
Yes,
Riley.
I was gonna say that. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
whether this storm was before or after that date card with Damar, we don't know. It seems like if this is after, then she's going to choose Riley and they're going to be fine. But again, we just don't know where this takes place in the episode. So, but very important.
100%. Exact same page as you, exact same thought. She's probably going to choose Riley, but Damar better get some action because he needs it. And I'm not there, and Avery's not there. So We need to see what happens. We have one last clip for our preview for next week, and then we're going to open it up to you guys, whoever is listening, for our little Q&A meme session. So let's see what goes down in this last clip.
What the? Oh, I'm so scared. This could be the end of paradise.
You know, they've really been comparing this show to Survivor for the past couple of weeks, and that one shot of everyone getting in the van just really made me feel like we were on Survivor again. Like, look how intense this looks. I'm kind of excited. I hope the cameras, like, really follow them through, like, the van and, like, packing and everything. Avery, what do you think's how do you think this is gonna go?
I honestly have no idea. We've never really seen something like this go down. I think they'll have to stay in like probably a different hotel for the night. Or, I mean, who knows? Who knows where they're taking them, what's actually really going on. I just didn't think that something environmental could be this bad where they would have to evacuate for a long amount of time, short amount of time. I don't know. I feel like the storm could pass and everyone would be okay, but clearly not. So I'm going to just have to go with maybe they're staying in a hotel for like a night.
Or tents, or on the beach. Hopefully they all survive. I mean, as Tia said, they're worried. It's gonna be dramatic.
Very
The whole beach
scary.
could blow down. Yes.
Right.
Okay, well, let's open it up to you guys. We have a little Q&A sesh. Come in, ask us anything, give us your opinions, anything Bachelor related. We could talk about the newest Bachelor, Bachelor in Paradise, The Bachelorette. We want to hear from you guys. Tweet us at Shared News, and make sure you guys are following us on Twitter at Shared News. We have funny tweets all week long, especially on Monday and Tuesday nights. So definitely check us out over there. And if you guys have not subscribed to our channel, make sure you guys subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss out on any future Bachelor in Paradise updates, because this season has been crazy and we cannot wait to hear from you guys and hear what you have to say, because it's a lot. I will say that I enjoyed having Paradise on one night this week versus two, because as you mentioned, Gianna, 8 hours or 4 hours, it feels like 8 hours, is a lot. So I kind of like the 1 week, but I still miss Mondays because I'm just like so used to that routine. But I did go out drinking with my friends on Monday night. I was like, I need to celebrate not having to watch The Bachelor for the first time in like years on a Monday. So I celebrated. I went out. Did you guys do anything on Monday night?
I did on Sunday, and I was really hungover on Monday, so I couldn't. No.
I actually
Gianna,
worked
how
one
was
of
your
my
Monday
other
night?
jobs on Monday, because usually Monday I'm like, I'm not working unless it's shared or something that has to do with Bachelor in Paradise. So I worked my other job that sadly does not have to do anything with anything Bachelor in Paradise related. I was
You guys
working all
should
night.
you should have just said, "Oh, I went to a party, I went to a fiesta." You know, you could have
We're
just made
boring.
something up.
Just working.
Yeah, you went to Mexico for the
Sorry.
night. Yeah, I mean,
keeping it
I am like
real.
just yes. Well, we love that. We do love that, and it was a different experience not having The Bachelor on a Monday. But 5 girls left, so there's a lot less people on the beach now. So I'm excited to see what happens next week. But we have our first comment from Eli, who says Natasha and Ed seems off and forced. I think it's like way too soon to even say forced, because we don't see how it goes down. I will say that Dr. Joe and Natasha seemed forced. Gianna, how do you feel about that word? It's a pretty strong and bold word.
That's a strong word. I understand why this user may have said forced, just because of what we've seen for Natasha's past in the last couple of episodes. But I don't think it's forced. I just think that Natasha was really the only option besides Tia, and now Kendall probably left.
Chelsea,
So obviously,
maybe Chelsea.
Oh yeah, Chelsea too. But I mean, you see Chelsea with Ivan, so now they have a thing going. So I think Ed kind of naturally gravitated toward Natasha. And I think Natasha's at the point where she's like, I'm getting what's mine and what I deserve. So maybe, I don't know, maybe she made the first move. So I don't think it was forced at all. I think it was inevitable is the word that I would use.
That's a good word. I think Natasha is not leaving here without a man, and I don't care. I don't think she cares who is left on that beach, as long as he is a male specimen. She's gonna take him home. Like, Natasha knows what she wants, so
Yeah.
whatever she gets. Avery, what is Monique saying? There's a lot of emojis here.
Tammy and Chris received their karma. Brendan needs to get his karma soon. Yes, he kind of got it by getting booted off, but I think there's a lot more still coming for him. I think he might lose a lot of friends over this too, because it's kind of crazy how many people are still sticking by him and who were given the situation. They're like, Brendan's my friend. I'm not going to say anything. Like, friend or not, what happened in plain sight was really messed up. And, like, you shouldn't be friends with people like that.
No,
Exactly.
and he lost like 100,000 followers. He lost about like 5 or 6,000 after last night's episode, which is obviously not as much as he lost to begin with. But yeah, I think he has a lot of apologizing to do. It's going to be really interesting to see his first interview. Gianna, what is Ashley saying?
Well, speaking of Brendan, Ashley is saying Piper is still delusional, talking about making money and gaining followers. I love these emojis. Hashtag Bachelor in Paradise. Ashley, I think I can speak for all of us when I say that we are with you. Like, why is she publicly talking about the money and the followers? Like, there's so much more to life. There's so much more to being on the show than that. Like, the whole issue with people going on the show and like the ethics behind it is going on specifically for followers rather than going on what the show is for and finding love, you know, naturally making connections. Like, why is she so hyper fixated on money and followers? There is so you know what? I feel bad for her. If that's what she actually is so focused on in this life, like making money and just having a lot of Instagram followers and being that next influencer and that next big name that was on the franchise, like, honey, I feel bad for you. You're never going to find love ever now after the hole she dug herself into. So all we can do is literally feel bad for how delusional she is because of this. Would you guys agree, or am I going off the rails?
I couldn't
here?
agree more with you. No, I second
I
everything
see,
you
you know,
said.
I see a future for Piper as a writer at Us Weekly. Like, that is the only thing I see for her at this point. You know, she sold her statement there. She's made it a huge part of her brand. She went to the Us Weekly fashion event in New York City. I mean, I see a bright future for her in that field. So, you know, to each their own. She has her priorities straight, but yeah, she definitely needs. Her apologies are delusional. It's insane to me how she's like, I don't fully blame editing. It's like there was no editing. They didn't edit that clip of you saying everything you said and like your attitude. Like we could all go off on this. James says, why is everyone so upset that people came on the show when they were already dating someone? Does no one remember Demi showed up with her girlfriend last season? Hashtag Bachelor in Paradise. Okay, so Demi did clarify this on her Instagram story last night, which is interesting because she just got eliminated from the show, so now she's finally able to speak on this. But Demi did say that it was different than Brendan and Piper because everyone knew about Christian the first day that Demi was on the beach, whether it was shown on the show or not. This is what Demi said. She's like, even Derek knew about Christian. I was not in a relationship with Christian. I was talking about Christian, and Derek was fully aware that Christian was possibly a thing. So that is the difference that Demi wanted to make, that Brendan downplayed and lied to Natasha, repeatedly gaslighted her, and Demi was always open and honest that she had a thing with a girl at home and it wasn't serious or exclusive, and then the show brought the girl on. And I believe Demi. Do you believe Demi, Avery?
I do. She's been pretty like open and honest about this, and like we saw it for ourselves. She did mention kind of from the start, you know, I'm seeing someone else at home, blah blah blah. Whereas Brendan didn't. Like, he denied it at first, and then he downplayed it, and he just dug himself a huge hole. Like,
Exactly.
I'm tired of talking about him. I hate him.
Yeah.
We're so
Gianna,
done with them.
Did you catch Demi's Instagram story?
I did. I actually maybe have seen it on your TikTok, Zachary. I think
Okay.
that's where I saw it. But I don't think that she's in the wrong at all, because like, if you're gonna communicate and be truthful and, you know, full disclosure on what's happening, then there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you're not leading someone as Brendan said, quote unquote, I wasn't misleading, you know, I was just withholding information. Like, dude, withholding is intentionally misleading, you idiot. So Demi is not the same as Brendan
Selective
in this
hearing.
situation.
Also,
Exactly.
Demi at least can show her face on Instagram and like say how she feels. Like, Brendan is hiding behind words and a statement that he deleted after 24 hours. Like, he couldn't even post it on his actual page. And like, at least Demi's showing her face. So Team Demi. Kendall Zari says, Kendall and Ivan seem like such an odd match. I mean, yeah, we talked about this, and I think obviously we kind of just broke down the trailer. It looks like Ivan and Chelsea are going to be making out next week, and Kendall's probably going to go home and hopefully never return to the beach again. Honestly, Gianna, who would you rather have back on Paradise next summer, Kendall or Piper? Assuming Piper and Brendan break up.
Oh,
Wow.
oh my God.
Yes. You have to answer.
Kendall. Like, I just
Really?
cannot stand Piper. Yeah, like, Piper actually did something malicious. She, as we said, is hyper fixated on followers and money and just going on to get that bag, you know, which whatever. But I think that was being malicious, and she would really, like, hurt Natasha, and she's still not even apologizing to this day. So like, she's just flat out a mean girl, Piper, whereas Kendall is also delusional, but in her own way, and all she's doing is crying. She's not hurting anyone on the beach. She's not, you know, she's not withholding information on the beach. She is straight up just sitting there bawling her eyes out. So if I really had to have one of them back, I would rather Kendall, because all she's gonna do is cry. That's basically that.
This is true. But I will say, in Piper's defense, the only thing I'll defend her is that at least she was so honest about only being there for Brendan. And, like, maybe she had to be. I mean, Brendan obviously was there early, so... Well, of course. Yeah. But at least she was just like, yeah, I'm here for Brendan. Like, I want followers. Like, I want money. Like, I want to be in Us Weekly. Like, at least, like, she was just kind of honest in that regards. Like, even though she didn't... Like, I think Brendan, what he did was a lot worse. But, like, there is some honesty with Piper in a weird way. If that makes sense. Like, Avery, does that make sense?
That's like,
or
if that's your man and you're like, let's say you're going on dates that you're not calling real dates, or you're like hooking up, which they very much well could have been, and you're flying to see this man, and then he's like, oh, I'm gonna go on Paradise. Like, that's a red flag. Like, oh, I'm gonna go wait for you, and then we can have some time. If I were Piper and I was smart, I'd be like, no, like, I want you to stay here, and I want you. Like, she ran down those stairs and was just like, Brendan, like, why couldn't she do that back at home? Like, I understand and appreciate, I get what you're saying. I understand her honesty, but like, do it at home and not at the expense of other people, which obviously 100%. I'm not putting it all on Piper. Brendan definitely was at fault as well. But yeah, I don't know. Piper, shady. I don't like it.
But they wanted
shady
to go
as
to
well
Paradise
as
so they could gain so many followers.
That too.
Come on.
And they can have more time together because they lived in different cities. So that's another benefit of the doubt for them. Yeah.
Well,
no, 100%. I'm trying to play devil's advocate.
Like, go get a room at Sandals if you really want to go on vacation. I love that Demi said that.
There is a lot of shade being thrown on this beach and in this live stream, and from this Twitter account, Shade House. So, best friend, ? Tammy girl, what is you doing? This is so funny. Avery, what did you think when Tammy called Thomas her best friend? I see you fitting into my life so well.
I was literally, these were my thoughts, actually. I was like, girl, what are you doing? Best friend. Like, not even close. Like, you guys aren't like that whatsoever. Like, please, let's not throw out, like, you're my best friend. I don't care about how your date went with her. Just know I feel the same way. She was saying all the wrong things. And it was just like, come on. It's not happening, Tammy.
R.I.P. Tammy. I mean, she gave us a good season. She was a huge personality. I wonder what her relationship was like with Aaron her last few days. Like, were they completely ignoring each other? Was it awkward? Gianna, how do you think that was for them?
I'm wondering if Aaron gave her a little, like, well, I told you so, like,
Stink
type
stare.
of comment. I feel like if it turned into an argument or anything, we would have seen it go down. But I bet you they just kind of avoided each other. I don't think they really had anything to talk about. She's trying to, well, she's gone, but Aaron is now moving on. So I don't think he even cared really that much to say anything.
Probably not. I mean, I wish I could just be a fly on that wall because there's so many hours in the day and they're just like on this small beach. But then there's like also so many people on this season. So it's like maybe it is easier to ignore people. I know that I would be in the pool like every day, just like swimming, especially if I wasn't going on dates, and just like tanning and eating and drinking. Like, I would honestly do like what Abigail and Noah are doing in a way. Like, they didn't know each other before the beach. They found each other. They're hot and heavy, and they're just like on vacation, like living their best life. Like, it kind of seems like a cool gig. I mean, Avery, what do you think about Abigail and Noah? We don't see a lot of them, but they are a solid couple.
Exactly. They're doing it the right way. Like they're actually on vacation. They're just with each other, soaking it all in. They're not in the drama. I would be doing that too if I was like completely coupled up. I'd be like, let's take advantage of the situation. Let's run off on our own. We're on vacation. Not like in the middle of any of the drama, but it's hard not to be when you're in paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. It's honestly shocking to see Noah not involved in any drama, considering how much drama he was involved in on Tayshia's season. Like, he was the center of the drama. So, like, it's just shocking. But, Gianna, what is Nat saying?
Natalie is saying Aaron is one of the most underrated people on the show. Fact. Hashtag Bachelor in Paradise. I love this. I loved this little blooper thing at the end about Aaron listing, the mosquitoes. Fact. This. Fact. That was so funny. I think Aaron is underrated, but I think that he definitely lets his anger and his emotions get the best of him. And when he does that, he just reminds me of like an angry, like frat dude. And then I'm like, like Aaron, you're giving me the ick.
Yep.
But I love him. Like, I love seeing this funny side of him. So I wish we saw more of that throughout the show, but I'm so glad that we got this at the end of the episode this week because he's definitely underrated when it comes to how funny he is. I do love him. I love Aaron. So yeah, I agree.
No, I like him too. He's so funny, but just sometimes he just handles things very immaturely. But he's hilarious. I loved this scene at the end when he was just like calling everything a fact. A fact. I don't think he's underrated. I think Aaron has a huge fan base. A lot of people love him in Bachelor Nation. He's definitely super popular. So I don't think that he's underrated. The most underrated person on the beach, I feel like, was Deandra. But she kind of got her following towards the end. Avery, what is Ava saying?
Joe and Serena telling each other they're falling in love. Me. Same.
Was that you? Was that you?
I was just waiting for that moment. That was me. I was like, Yeah, no, it was cute. I loved how she initiated it. Like you said, Gianna. Pretty much goals, yeah. No complaints about them so far.
None at all.
Well, I mean,
Love them.
well, what do you guys think about Joe being like the ringleader? Is it like one of those things where it's like someone has to do it, or do you think Joe is coming across a little too like producer-y, control-y, like mind your business? Which one do you guys think?
I think it's because someone has to do it, and he's also one of the older ones. He's also been there before. He's just kind of like taking it upon himself to like, I don't know, clean things up. And not only that, but he has a podcast with Natasha. So like, I'm glad he was the first one to have her back in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because someone needed to
Joe,
have
like-
Natasha's back.
Yeah, he reminds me of just a dad. Like, he's like, all right, guys, let's all sit and talk about what's happening. Like, I love that he kind of took the reins and is leading these conversations. And like you said, Avery, like, he's been there before. He knows how this process works. And I just don't think that he's down to put up with the BS anymore. So I love how he's handling the situation. I don't think he's overstepping at all. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, he is the oldest on the beach. So speaking of seniors with our next tweets, Veronica says, nobody has spoken on the fact that they are casting for seniors. What are your thoughts? Do you think a senior bachelorette will be successful? So they've been talking about this for like a few years. I don't know if they're going to actually ever do it. I mean, they kind of did do a senior bachelorette when they had Claire be the bachelorette. So I feel like they've been there. No, I'm just kidding. I think a senior bachelorette would be really good. However, I feel like it would have to be like Bachelor senior, whereas it's like people from like 40 to 60. Because I just don't know, like usually a senior is 65 and up. So I feel like 40 to 60 Bachelor senior would do really well. A lot of divorcees. I would love to see it. I would love to see some of the most iconic parents from Bachelor Nation go on the show, like Mama Moynes, like from last season. I know, Barb is obviously married, but Peter's mom, Barb, would have been good. Like a spin-off show with all the Bachelor parents. I would love to see a senior Bachelorette. Gianna, would you submit one of your parents or aunts or uncles?
I would definitely submit my mom because she is a divorced mother and she's single. She is hot. She is ready to mingle. So I would love that
Is she
for
going to
her.
be the Bachelorette?
Yeah, I think she would be the Bachelorette. Like, the only thing I'm concerned about is we obviously know that this show can put a lot of people through a lot of mental trauma, if you will, just because of how rigorous it is and, you know, how much people go through on the show, you know, behind the scenes after the show with social media and stuff. And when it comes to seniors, and if we're talking 65 and up, like, we got to protect our seniors at all costs. I would not want to put anyone old in that position to feel that way. So as long as they're treated nicely and like the production and crew really take care of them, I'm all for it. But yeah, I think it would be great, and I think it would be a breath of fresh air from like all the young drama that we always see, and just a new twist on the franchise. I'm all here for it.
Well, breaking news, we have a tweet from Variety. I mean, a lot has probably happened with this Bachelor story from when we first started live about an hour ago to where we are now. Like, this has probably blown up the internet, and Variety is saying the next star of The Bachelor might be an unfamiliar face, but not for too long. Insiders say ABC has picked its next star for Michelle Young's upcoming season. Avery, do you remember his name?
Clayton.
Putting you on the spot. There you go. Clayton. I mean, it's as official as it possibly could be, which is a great way to kind of end this live and put everything together, because Clayton is going to be our next Bachelor. And I can't wait to really stalk his social media after this and find out everything I need to know about Clayton. And, like, I can't even believe that we have a Bachelor announcement. Like, is he going to be on Good Morning America, you think, like, on Monday or Tuesday? Like, now that this is out there, I feel like the show is going to have to get ahead of this. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, congratulations, Clayton. You did it.
Congratulations.
Well, yes. Well, we are going to wrap things up here, but I do want to know your guys' final predictions and what you want to see next week on Paradise. So, Avery, why don't you go first?
Ooh, I want to see this whole Aaron and Ivan situation, the fight, or how that came about and how that ends. I'm so looking forward to that.
Okay. Gianna, how about you?
I really am excited to see Ed and Natasha and what happens with them. And hopefully it's something good and something that will last, because justice for Natasha.
Justice for Natasha. Well, I'm so excited to see Kendall's breakdown, and I hope it's the final breakdown next week. So we're going to have to talk next week and see what happens on Bachelor in Paradise. This is everything we have to share with you guys. And before you guys go, don't forget to comment down below what you think of the next Bachelor. Clayton, what do you think is going to go down on Paradise? Leave your predictions, leave your opinions in the comment section. And before you guys go, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, because we'll be back with more Bachelor in Paradise updates. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, and I was joined today by the lovely Avery Grooms and crazy Gianna Gravalisi. You guys can follow us on our socials down below. Come over and say hello. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.